The topics of this podcast you're about to listen to includes cosplayers that will not just discuss said topic, but also make fun of, throw shade, run game at, etc., at anyone remotely connected to the topic at hand. So there is a possibility of being offended. Remember, you have been warned. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Black Cosplayers podcast, episode number 24. I am one of your hosts, Ranma, and tonight with me is Akumadorf and Sister K. Can y'all please introduce yourselves?
Hello, it is I, Kay, the Queen of Yaoi, here. Because if it ain't woke or broke, don't fix it.
I like swag.
Pretty boy swag.
Start the show.
Hi. Alright, so tonight we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk a little bit about music, and if you're wondering why we're talking music, I'll straight up say it. When finding out about the passing of Chester Bennington, lead vocalist to Linkin Park, I'll say I wasn't really affected by his passing per se, but it sucks, and I just, we lost a very talented person. But generally what happens is when a famous performer passes away, we all sit there and talk about their music, and 9 times out of 10, we're talking about the struggle, the shit that we've been through, and how their music kept us going. So tonight we're going to talk about, how not just their music got us through the good and the bad times, music in general, why we listen to different various musics and kind of fall against the stereotype, Let me tell you, when I was 16 in high school, I was confused when it came to my music and who I was. I think I had just gotten into anime by discovering it at the local video store, and I was trying to figure out who I was, And, what was popular then was the whole East Coast versus West Coast feud, Tupac and Biggie, and everybody was walking around with with the big headphones and the Walkman, so I went out and bought one, got Biggie's album, Ready to Die, which is a good album. But on the same token, I don't know, I just wasn't fully feeling it. I enjoyed the music, and it felt different from the typical gangster rap I really wasn't a fan of. So, and one of my best friends at the time, Justin, who I'm still best friends with, and I was telling him this, and he looked at me and said, listen to this. He handed me an album that said 9 Inch Nails to Downward Spiral. Okay, I'll give it a try. That was the catalyst. I enjoyed the fuck out of that album. I enjoyed the beat and the music more than anything else. And I think because growing up, I found myself listening to a local top 40 station for a while because I didn't know any better. It was like whatever station I found, I was like, okay, I can get with this. That, and compared to on Sunday mornings when my mother, Lord rest her soul, would play WBLS, which is a local station in New York. They'd play a lot of R&B and classic soul. They have the Sunday morning classics. So you would hear the Four Tops, Temptations, Lou Rawls, all the classic artists from the 60s and the 70s. So I guess that mixed with what I was listening to kind of got me on this point. And don't get me wrong, I still listen to rap music, but not as much because, like I said, it was a combination of the lyrics and some of the music. I just couldn't get with it. I couldn't get with that. So I listened to 9 Inch Nails. I listened to Pantera, Metallica, Queensryche. I had a bit of a love-hate relationship with Def Leppard, and I have to admit their current album really sucks, but it is what it is. and I started listening to more alternative rock, pop music. That's what I really enjoyed because I really like having a melodic beat as I'm walking, as I'm listening to music, and I kind of felt that the beats that rap was offering was just too repetitive and it was like too short. I just couldn't do it. So, and that's what I majorly listen to. And then over time, I kind of got back into rap music, not as much. I discovered chip tune music and Mega Ran with chip hop, and it's like it's hip hop music done to like chip tunes and classic video game music, and I really like that. And whenever he comes into town, he does his shows. He always has a couple of independent artists, and when they do their sets, it reminds me of the old school rap that I enjoyed listening. Growing up with the other types of music I had. So, and there, and we've all been there where you're having a really fucked up day. You don't want to be bothered by anybody. You go through your music collection, you put this tape in, or you play this CD or this playlist, and you put your headphones on, and you just kind of go away from it all, and that music kind of puts your mind at ease. It kind of helps you relax the situation, and you go with the lyrics as to what's going on. Now, one thing that was different about Linkin Park, the lyrics were like, I know I'm the problem and I have to deal with it. Whereas when you listen to other music, it's more like, I'm not at fault, you're at fault. You're the reason why I'm this way, so I gotta do this. A lot of music from Linkin Park is, I let this shit happen to me. It's fucked up. I have to deal with it and get my way back to where I was. You caused this to me, but I gotta deal with this. You don't understand, so I gotta handle this. It
Kind of
was
like
like, hmm?
Sevenfold's
Yeah.
early music.
Speak up, I can barely hear you.
Oh, I said like kind of like Avenged Sevenfold's early music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what makes it different is, growing up, when I got into this, I was sort of like the only black person that listened to alternative EDM and all of that. Now it's like everybody listens to everything, probably short of country music, but still. I mean, growing up at that time, it was just kind of hard. Hell, I knew this kid from high school named Fritz. I found out he was into this. I was like, oh my god, I'm not the only one in this little shit town. And upon hearing about Chester's passing, I put on Hybrid Theory, Reanimation, Meteora, and I just found myself reflecting back on those situations I was dealing with, and I'm like, I'm at this point now, and I listened to their latest album, and it's much more mellow. It's sort of like I've kind of found peace, but the battle is still going. It's sort of like you're the old sage of the town, and it's like I still gotta fight, but do a lot more talking before I raise these hands. So, what about y'all? What kind of music do y'all like? What kind of got y'all into, that kind of helped shape who you are to this day?
Well, when I was in middle school, that's when I really started to get into like before my parents were big like old school R&B people.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to the old tracks like Switch, Earth, Wind and Fire,
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
and I was just really into that. But then when I got in middle school, I started kind of weaning away from that. Like I had listened to them, but so it got kind of repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I started making friends. Like in school, nobody really liked me, black kids or the white kids, or I was hanging out with some of the Asian kids and Hispanics, and then I started getting into different types of music. This one dude I knew, he was Dominican, but he really liked rock music,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, hey, so what are you listening to? And he introduced me to Avenged Sevenfold. It was one of the first bands I ever listened to in the like alternative rock scene. and I really loved it. And after I started listening to that, along with, because I was really big into anime with my brother, so
Yep.
I would listen to anime openings, like the first anime songs um, I listened to was the it was the Inuyasha openings. I listened to those. I knew those by heart. Didn't know a word what I was singing, but I knew it by heart. And I would just get into those. And then I got into J Rock and J Metal, Maximum Hormone, Iceman, electronic, like old stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then when I got into the sort of rock and alternative scene, I was into everything from like alternative to the basic hard rock, like what played on. There's Project 961. It was one of the most popular rock stations in Georgia where I live, and it was just like the greatest thing ever. Like they were one of those radio stations who really they played what the fans wanted to hear. And I learned everything from Disturbed to 3 Days Grace to Bullet for My Valentine. Linkin Park was kind of a thing I used to listen to. Like I listened to it every now and then, but I don't know if it was everywhere. But the growing meme-ish kind of thing down here was that Linkin Park was like a really like they were the emo bands, but they didn't want to admit they were emo, sort of like.
See, they were more like just angry, less
Mhm.
emo, more angry and angst,
Mhm. And like a lot of people got mad at them because they felt like they sold out because they used to do a lot of collabs with rap artists, and that was a big thing in the rock community, at least down here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, as long as it's good music, I don't really care. Like, I forgot what it was called. Upon a Burning Body did a collaboration with Ice T to remix the song "Turn Down for What." A lot of people were mad at that. I'm like, it's not that big a deal. It's like
You
it's
know,
still good music.
who was actually mad about it? The rock fans or the rap fans?
I think it was the rock fans.
I can kind of see it because it's not what they're used to, but
Mhm.
music intertwines and flows with everybody.
Mhm. Nobody complained when Kid Rock did that collab with R. Kelly, Ludacris, and was it Bobby even?
I think so.
Yeah, the Rockstar thing when they
Mm-hmm.
did that collab together. Nobody was mad at that, and I'm like, why are you mad now? But over my years, I've been listening to things progressively, more and more rock. Like I like death metal, Viking metal. Death Clock was a big thing for me. That was back when I was like a huge Metalocalypse fan, prior to like 2014. I like a lot of just anything with a guitar riff and actual lyrics that you can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to like Evanescence, anything.
Yeah.
I like the goth era, punk rock, like the Sex Pistols and Beyond, the Doors, the Who, all of that.
See, right now my big thing is like the metal bands from the '80s, power
Mm-hmm.
ballads, power metal. That's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
really into right now.
Mm-hmm.
Something like I said, something that kind of keeps my ears going, constant stream of beats and rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
and melody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I used to be like that. I used to be really into the like really power melody, the beats really fast. But now I've gotten a little bit into the goth scene, and I'm more into overseas art like Disjecta Memra, um, Paralyzed Age, um, I forgot his name, Peter Murphy, Bauhaus, Susie and the Banshees. Those like they're
Mm-hmm.
really good. Like you can kind of dance to. It's one of those songs where you can dance to it, kind of slow. It's like a trance kind of
Oh,
music.
okay.
Yeah, like it's like EDM but super slow down.
Gotcha.
Where
Okay.
And it's pretty chill music. It's like one of those nights when you want to just hang out, but you don't want to get too hyped on music, but you want to dance casually, and it's kind of just music you gotta get into and kind of get entranced into. But I'm more into slower music now, but I still love my sort of hard rock, trance headbangers, Whitechapel, things like that. I still always have a place for those.
Kumudorf, what about you, bro?
EDM, fam.
Yeah.
All day, every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Speak up. I can barely hear you.
All day, every day, EDM. Drum, bass, trap, techno, dubstep, pro step. Prince, Marshmallow, Diplo. Okay, no,
Marshmallow.
Uh,
Diplo. Uh, Dead Mouse. He haven't done anything lately, so no.
The
Uh,
Skrillex.
Muffin Man. He's a good artist.
but how did you get into EDM? I mean, what opened your eyes to it?
Sega games. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, the Yuzo Koshiro games. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Especially Sonic
Oh yeah.
and Shadow the Hedgehog stages
Mhm.
or Super Edge Lord techno music.
Or some of the music from Streets of Rage.
Yep.
I think someone did like a remix album of the music from the first two games, and I think I have it. It was pretty good.
I remember that.
Mhm.
It was on YouTube for like ever, and then it like got taken down. I don't know if it's back up.
I just say when people think all EDM music is just dubstep and they don't educate themselves.
You want to do a quick educational breakdown for the fans?
I'll be here all day trying to explain that.
Okay then.
Like these normies.
Mhm.
Yeah, these noise don't get it. It's like with cosplaying. These people don't want to learn. They want to do the basic stuff.
Okay.
Just give me what I want now.
But you want to hear some real music. Oh, I got you, fam. Oh,
All right.
prepare your ears.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord. Okay. All right.
Sonic music.
All right.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Son. Well, it's the worst Sonic game, but has the best music. That's the name of Sonic. The worse the game is,
Every
the better the
time I
music.
hear that,
Yeah, it's kind
every
of
time I hear about that game, it's always the worst. It's the worst game, but the best music.
see that kind of reminds me. There's always been like a fight in the Sonic fandom, like with Sonic CD, Japanese soundtrack versus the American soundtrack. I like them both. You know.
Mhm.
It's like if I just want to have like a chill game day, I'll put it on with the Japanese soundtrack. If I'm kind of hyped for that day, I just want to just get hype. I'll put on the American soundtrack.
Well, speaking of we versus Americans, culture appropriation, whatever you call it. You know, people get mad. You listen to certain type of music.
Yeah, I dealt with that. It's like, why are you listening? As it was said to me, I listen to headbanger music, and I'm like, at the time, I'm like, this ain't headbanger music. But now that I understand MTV's Headbangers Ball and this and that, yeah, I get it. I get it.
That metal show.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I remember even in my own house, it's like, listen, like I remember one time my cousin said something to the effect of when he was talking to my mom, because he was like, he asked me what music do you listen to or something, because he was asking me a bunch of songs for like rappers or something at the time, and he was like, "Oh wait, you don't listen to me that music. You listen to that devil music or white people music or something." And what? I was like, "That's not white people music. It's just play guitar and happen to use drums." Like there's quite a few black musicians in rock. Like they're just underground
Yeah.
or they're in.
I mean, some people forgot about Jimi Hendrix or lead singer Hootie and the Blowfish. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of theirs, but
I think the lead vocalist or the lead guitarist engaged.
mm-hmm. But then black people start getting all pissy when white people start rapping and stuff like that. I look at it this way. Well, maybe because they're doing a better job than half the rappers out there. Because for the longest time, the rap game, it was like there was just an influx. It's like you would listen to one person's album where half the tracks is him collaborating with another one of his friends who's about to put their album out in about a month or two, and he got all these people, and I remember I was watching some program on MTV and they was talking to some rapper about his album, and they were asking him about the lyrics, about the album. You know, what was your inspiration? You know, where'd you come up with some of this stuff? He was too busy advertising all the motherfuckers that was working on that with him, that was collaborating.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad that if the most popular rapper in the modern rap game right now is like people like Eminem,
Mm-hmm.
like I see him represent the fact that Eminem is one of the top rappers in the game, and it's like, do better. Like, all you gotta do is knock him off this podium. Do better.
See, the thing is with Eminem is that if you look at these other rappers, they always got beef with each other. They kind of bring up their cred. Eminem is just mad at everybody. He will just call everybody out and not care.
Exactly.
These
Carrie.
She tried to make that song response. That was so pathetic. I was like, can you be any more
well,
A warning.
well, when you pop out twins and your ex-husband is a little bit more successful than you, well,
I can't. And then it's always like, okay, when Little Dicky came on the scene, it's like, oh, he's white, and then he's a Jew, he can't play, he can't rap. It's like he's not allowed to rap. And then people were mad that he was on the cover of Double XL. I think it was.
yeah, it was like the new class of 2016 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and people were mad, and I'm like, y'all have people like Designer. The dude literally made the song Timmy Turner. Really, and y'all mad that Lil Dicky makes rap just to be funny. Like some of his videos and some of the stuff he says. Like I'm not really even into rap, but Lil Dicky made me like kind of ease into the rap game a little bit just to see what was going on. Like I came back from the rock world. What's going on in here? And I saw some of his videos, and I'm like, this dude went on a $0 budget to make a music video. Really, you can't be mad at creativity.
Yeah.
Because you didn't think of it. It's pretty much like the cosplay community. You can't be mad because somebody went the extra step and got more creative than you, and then bash them.
I mean, I look at it so I ain't trying to knock, but anywho, I mean, if you can look at like a rapper, like a black rapper video. It's like you could tell the studio and the record company threw all this money into it, you know, to make it look all blinged out and fashionable. You know, then you got a white guy doing a rap video, and it's like he's on a smaller budget and he's working with, oh, let me do this, I can do that. Because if I'm not mistaken, Little Dicky came out and said he originally wanted to be a comedian. This just came to him, so you know he's doing what he can do.
Yeah, he said he wanted to be a comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, why are you knocking the dude for doing what he likes? Like it's like, for example, it's people like Filthy Frank, for example.
Yeah.
Like
Or Lil B.
Or who?
Lil B.
Okay, yeah, okay, Lil B. I got you. Yeah.
I mean, Lil B and Filthy Frank, I don't even put them in the same category. I think Lil B is just the best troll, unironically. It's really weird.
Call me K. Perry.
Yeah.
Call me K. Perry.
And then it's like Filthy Frank. Like if Filthy Frank or George Miller were ever to get into the rap game full force, I feel like he'd get tons of hate for it. Even though Pink guy, the Pink season and everything, the persona he's made around his music is better than half the rappers out here right now. Like he literally made #1 on iTunes ahead of Kendrick Lamar, all the top rappers on iTunes for a good like 3 weeks. Like that's pretty decent for a free album.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of these rappers, a lot of black folks like, well, these such and such, and then they're supporting these rappers who don't even really care about people they be who given their mumble rap.
Get the fuck out of here with that shit.
Blase.
These
No, look up the song Blase. Blase. Listen to it.
Oh, if it does something to my head, I'm gonna come kick your ass, man.
I used to
I
get
will
mad.
hide.
I used to get mad when I was younger. That was when I was really into like rock and Avenged Sevenfold and all that. I used to get really mad when like they come out with an album that was solid, and it'd be like actually when I actually gave a fuck about like that. I used to get mad when the rock title, which wasn't even rock, because 30 Seconds to Mars would always win every year, and it's like, are they? They're not the only rock group out there.
Well, at least you have a rock station out there, Up here in New York, we don't have one anymore unless you go online.
We don't have one anymore either.
Let me tell you, it used to be 1027 WNEW, the Rock of New York. And then they changed to a talk format where we got Opie and Anthony and a bunch of other talk show heads. And then you also had 92.3 K Rock. Not the same K Rock that you know from there were two K Rocks. You had the one California one in New York. That K Rock changed format. It became like contemporary pop music, talk format for a bit. Then one day on my break, I'm walking over to somewhere and I put my headphones on. I hear All Apologies. I'm just like, the fuck is going on? 92.3 K Rock went back to its old rock format. Now, it's a top 40 station trying to compete with Z100. And if you want the original K Rock station, you have to listen to their online station. So it's like that. And then you have Q104.3, which is the classic rock station. And to them, classic rock is anything starting from the 90s and going all the way back.
It's not classic rock, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how it was at our state. Like, we had Project 961, which was the most popular rock alternative station in Georgia. And then it was going and going, and it was evolving. Like, it was one of those, it would beat out all the other radio stations we had in Georgia. Like, they beat out 94.1, 99.7, all of those. Even 95.5 The Beat, which was like, they were literally right next to each other, and they were like rivals. But it was like, 95.5 The Beat was for hip-hop and like more black music, rap. But it was still good. It had good music on there, too. But then, the Project 961, it was evolving. Like, it was one of the first radios that we had in our state where they actually were extremely interactive with their audience. Like, they had this thing called Power Play, I think it was called, or the Power to Play, where you literally got to call in and put a physical vote in what you wanted to hear every, like, Friday night. And it had, like, they even had the elaborate, like, voices for each of the songs that you requested and things like that. And, like, and so you know how after the song plays, the announcer guy who's on it will say the song really briefly? Like, every time there was a song that played on Project 961, there was this girl in this super ultra seductive voice. Like, okay, say if Avenged Sevenfold Backcountry had played, and afterwards she'd be like, Avenged Sevenfold Backcountry. And it would just be like, yes, this is it. And then I guess they tried to bring it down because it was getting more ratings, because I think the guy who ran Project 961, actually, he was streaking or something, and they shut down the radio station, and now it is the most generic, over pop radio. It's called Power 961. I'm so mad. I'm just like,
and you wonder why Spotify and YouTube Music and Google Music and Apple Music and Tidal and all that shit is a lot more popular, because the terrestrial stations ain't playing shit.
Saying they playing the same 5 songs every other hour.
See, even Okudo, he agrees with us on this. I mean, come on.
Yep.
I mean, the only time I really listen to music is like when I'm hanging out with my best friend down. She's not too far from the shore, so when I'm out there hanging out with her, we listen to the Rat 95.5, and that's nothing but rock music. And thankfully, they're part of our iHeartRadio, so we can actually pull the app up and keep listening to them when we're out of range of the station. Hell, I think that's the only station I have programmed in onto iHeartRadio.
Oh, Lord.
I just listen to SoundCloud because the music I like is now on radio, except for the generic crap like the Chainsmokers.
And
Oh,
who was that? And who was that rapper that saved SoundCloud?
Chance the
the Rapper.
Rapper,
Chance the Rapper.
he has that douchebag face. I don't like it.
I think he's trying to be more like one with the people, one with the fans. You know.
Well, he was, and then it comes out on MTV, him, and I expected Kings of Leon to do this because Kings of Leon has an history of Kings of Leon and him. They actually emailed, like, not even like, hey, this piece that you made about my music, I would appreciate if it was more fair. But no, he came in full swing, like he owned the place. He was like, if you don't take down this critique you have of me and such, you gonna be in your office with dread niggas. That's exactly what he said.
I heard about that.
The sheer arrogance, because one guy, who happened to be black, by the way, the exact same diversity that MTV's been trying to go for, is being threatened by a black artist because he doesn't want a bad review of his album. And it wasn't anything like scathing. It wasn't like Chance the Rapper shit and his shit. Like, it was actually like a critical analysis of some of his songs, pros and cons. But just because he didn't like it, he felt like, oh no, how dare you, me, Chance the Rapper, the guy who made my album on SoundCloud and was known for my indie 15 minutes of fame. Like, big head, don't do it. That's how you ruin your career.
And for some people they're gonna take a chance like that. It could make their career better. You know.
And I mean, it wasn't like it was hurting him. Like, nobody reads articles anymore.
True.
It just felt like it was extra. That kind of says something about journalism. Like, they deleted it and then they had to push it somewhere. And it's like, can you get fired for giving a bad review on a musician?
Probably not. But depending on the feedback from it,
Yeah. That's like some of these game review YouTubers who are being like ceased and desist by the game companies because they gave them a bad review. And it's like, don't have a bad game. Like, it's all
Or our streaming rights,
Yeah.
like DSP. But that's our story for a different time. That can be a topic in itself.
True that.
Mm-hmm.
The Chronicles of DSP is interesting.
I heard Capcom is doing possible copyright strikes on video game reviewers who put any sort of negative connotation on their newest games. Because you know that the negative controversy is coming.
Lord.
I feel like that's just scummy. Like, you're $1 million corporation and you're false flagging videos because they're saying something you don't like. An honest opinion in real time. Like,
I guess unless I'm going to assume the Capcom money tank is starting to dwindle down some, and Sony's like, you ain't get no more money out of us.
Well, Street Fighter 5 didn't sell well, and Marvel just rushed out for esports money, and now it's just like everybody else is making Marvel look worse. So yeah, they put themselves in a bad spot.
See, it's sort of like at that point you just sit there and you just watch the whole thing just fall down and collapse.
yeah, it's like, what? Look at this. Just watch it burn. Let it burn. Just like Usher was on many of the.
You think Usher? I think Dubois from the Boondocks.
Yeah.
Tom
Yup.
or Uncle Ruckus, he's a great singer too.
I just can't. It's just, even the rock scene kind of is dying in a way. Like, I think Avenged came out with their new album, which I have. It was pretty good. This is really good. it's blew my expectations. I liked the stage, and I liked a few other. Disturbed is back after like literally rage quitting off the stage like what 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then like the death metal. Well, the guy behind Death Clock is doing, which is like an extended version, since he can't do anything with Death Clock. Adult Swim owns the rights, but it's like all the like. Well, what's they're called? Cage the Elephant, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They came out with a new song last year, which was pretty good. The new single. But they're not really anything just blowing you away in the rock genre right now. Especially because they're voting all this. Like Jeezy. Ariana Grande. I heard she's... I'm so sad. Like, she used to be this sweet, dumb girl. Not even... Well, her persona was dumb. But she was this sweet girl. And then, afterwards, when she got the money and the fame and it went to her head, she just got so arrogant.
Or it's also a mixed combination, from the industry. Because, look, Miley Cyrus came out and said she regrets what she did at the VMAs in 2013.
No, that is not what she said.
Or
she said she felt sexualized.
That's why I meant to say sexualized. Okay.
Well,
it's my memory retention, but
no, that's fine.
And I'm seeing people's comments, and a lot of people are like, you know what? You stole from us. You appropriated. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Only one person that I know posted. Well, when you're caught up in that cycle of music, the machine, this happens.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do, because there have been a lot of artists that do a certain style of music, and then they adjust to a different style, and it just changes. Because sometimes you gotta adjust to keep up. Like, I know for a while people were mad at Aerosmith when their albums came out during the 90s, because how they sounded in the 90s was not how they sounded in the 70s and the 80s. Yeah. And I was like, they had to change and adjust to keep up with the new artists coming out, kind of keep their fan base, but also add more to the fan base.
Yeah. Like a lot of people...
Unrelated, but what is this Sarah app?
Huh?
This thing I see on Facebook where it's like ask.com, but you can just send anonymous questions and comments.
Yeah, it's Sarah, I think. Sarah.
I know.
I just been calling everybody.
I seen somebody with that, so I know.
No, I just posted like little B lyrics to everybody as everybody's comments.
Best troll.
And just random stupid comments.
Oh no.
It's like an anonymous. It's like a candid, but for questions. What was I saying? Oh yeah, like my thing with Miley Cyrus isn't Aerosmith or Selena Gomez or like those people transitioning from like the kid star status to adulthood and kind of have to rely on those changes. She comes from a family that literally has music on every part of the music planet. Like, her brother was in Metro Station. He was the lead singer. He's into rock. And then her dad sang Achy Breaky or whatever. He was a soft rock singer. And she has that influence. Like, do you notice how much publicity, just free publicity, she's getting to just say the stuff that she's saying? Mm-hmm. Like, she had that same influence that she could have to do that stuff she was doing before. Like, it's so easy for her to literally get an interview like that. And the only reason she's changing now is because the guy she actually likes, Liam Hemsworth, isn't having her stuff what she's doing now. If he wouldn't have cared, she probably would have kept doing what she was doing. Like, she's playing this victim complex, like, I'm done with the hip-hop. They degrade women. I'm done. I felt sexualized when I intentionally... As if I intentionally twerked on a married man for views, and I wasn't even part of the choreography. I just decided to do it, and I got the repercussions for it. I'm so tired of being...
That wasn't twerking, though.
Huh?
That wasn't twerking, though.
It wasn't. It was kind of just, like, sliming against... It wasn't even...
Like Matt there does a better job twerking.
It's
See,
not like
now I look at it this way. Artists will have to do, if it's good, it's for the good of the business. If you go out there and quote unquote twerk on a married man, the ratings are going to go up. And then when you look back at what you did, you may have second thoughts, but when those royalty checks come in, you're like, well, it's not so bad.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, it's like it seemed forced because of how she was and her popularity. Like every time you ask someone, like they did this stupid montage on. For some reason, I found it on this montage when she was promoting her new album Malibu or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When she was like, there was a montage of people asking, "What do you think of Miley Cyrus?" And there were people who were just like, "Oh yeah, she's doing like." All their responses were like, "She's doing what she's doing. She's an adult. Let her have fun." Like, I don't see how sexualizing babies in a video and then talking about doing Molly every day is like she's an adult, which I understand she is an adult. She can do whatever she wants.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like at the same time promoting stuff that's really questionable and then getting mad at the said things you did. Like, do you not expect people to talk? And they don't even talk as much as they should, in my opinion. People are giving Miley softballs. But now she's trying to blame everyone in the industry that she was literally leeching off of. Now that she's on her little, I'm married, I'm engaged, my husband, his career. It's like, somebody needs to come at her hard. Like, they need to do a Kesha on her and just, like, give her a complete 180. Like,
let's not get into that. I mean, that was just a situation within itself.
no, I'm talking about as far as Kesha getting clean. I'm not talking
Okay.
about, like, her.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
That's all situational stuff. You can't really pinpoint anything with that. But she got out her contract.
Yeah, that was very good.
And she's made some new music, and you can tell she's liberal.
Speaking of new music, I'm still waiting to hear Missy Elliott drop a new album. I'm like, come on.
I know. Did you see her new PV though?
Yes,
her MV.
Yes, I did.
Good.
I mean, look, you gotta admit, halftime Super Bowl, nobody said shit about Katy Perry. It was like, fuck Katy Perry, it's Missy Elliott that's up there,
Man.
You had, I just want to side step for a second, you had that, the Jurassic Park promo, a couple of things. It was like the 90s was coming back and shit, and it's like, yeah, late 90s, early 2000s was coming back, well, Hey.
Yep. I was like, well, look at these reboots. These are some good reboots here. Like, yes. But the something before we were talking about mine. Oh, Ariana Grande. Like, with her, I'm like, it's like she was making more money than all of her co-stars on Victorious, and I think that's what got to her head. And then she was already being offered a solo contract when she was doing Sam and Cat. This is a little suspicious. So I feel like because she knew she was making more money than everyone else, because she obviously had the best talent out of all of Victoria's cast, she was being a little too arrogant, and then she was getting landed in hot water. The only thing I say is that I don't agree with the whole using what she did at the in that donut shop about the America stuff to justify her concert being attacked, her Manchester, because that's like, that has nothing to do with, those two don't even correlate. It was in another country, and it's like, don't make that the thing with her music. Like, if you don't like her music, that's fine, but don't really like use that to attack her.
Yeah, but they're going to do that regardless, so you just
You
just gotta take that shit on the chin and just roll with it,
I feel like that Manchester concert was just a publicity stunt for her to like promote her new man or whatever.
Probably.
Because it wasn't even really like, at first it was like, yeah, this is totally about the hey Muffin Man. This was to promote like the victims and everything, but then like halfway through the concert you started noticing that she was getting more and more like, she was getting show-offy, and she kept kissing the guy, I think it was Malcolm. I don't know if
You
you
see,
see.
you know what? I think with a lot of female artists, they kind of start out as like the girl next door style of music for the first couple of albums, and then the next one they're practically half naked, and the style of the music changes, and it's like you're either gonna lose a few listeners and gain a bunch more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Hi
Britney
guys.
Spears. Like her first, I liked the first album. Second album was good. Third album was trash. And I'm looking at that person. I'm like, I can't do this. The
Oh
Hey, that
Lord.
was my favorite album.
the, the fourth album was kind of hit or miss,
That was,
but the fifth album was really good. It felt like a throwback to her first two.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yo, what's going on, Muffin Man?
Nothing, man.
Hey
Kick some
guys, sorry.
hard.
You said I'm sorry I was late. I just got a job today. I start tomorrow.
Yo, you
Awesome.
weren't you working at the airport like last week or something like that?
Yeah, I was.
You started to become like Smokey from Friday. How do you get fired on your
Okay,
day
Kidman
off?
2.0.
Hey, John, I'm trying to work like I got kids. That Kindle level.
Hey, that's support.
The state comes
That's a
out.
little.
Don't
It's
tell me.
called front page news. Little 5 points.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't tell me the state's coming after you like, for all these
Good
10
job.
kids you
That's
got, they're going to
correct.
deduct this.
You done
These
sperm.
muffins don't bake themselves.
I was like, how much they paying?
$9.50.
Boy, you better get a job pay 10 more.
Well, I'm trying. I'm gonna figure out what's going on here for right now because the
It's so
airport's paying
tough.
8. Yeah, we gonna see.
Don't be like my son.
Oh Lord.
Father, I aim to impress you.
I'm talking about your brother, fam.
Oh Lord.
See,
How
Muffin
y'all
Man,
doing today?
Muffin, what you need to do is you need to wait till Akumador gets some seniority at his job. That way he can bring you in.
Well, dude got fired for doing nothing.
That's that ultimate step up.
See, that's why I'm very finicky about who I hope will get a job somewhere. And it's like, if my place is hiring and I think you can do the position, I'm like, yo, send me your resume or this or that. Or if you ask me, I'll be like, I'll let you know when, I'll pass the resume along and be like, yeah, I can vet for him. It's up to you if you want to hire him or not. So, and every time people get mad at me because they didn't get the job, I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have the final say on who gets hired. I do not run the department. This ain't Staples. And even then, I still have a final say on who gets to work underneath me. But Muffin, what we're talking about today is music. Like what music we like to listen to, what we grew up with, what kind of inspired us, and so forth.
Oh, I dig that. I can do that.
I didn't hit it.
Um, let me think. This is before I became like a weeb. I went through a weeb phase. Um, I wasn't as big into like rap as like a lot of like brothers were.
Yeah.
With me just growing up or whatever. So of course a lot of hip hop artists like let me guess like Wu Tang that is set up for me. I gotta listen to that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bump no Drake nothing. Um, Once I got into like rock music or whatever, or what alternative and stuff like
Yeah.
that I kind of dug that because like artists like Rage Against the Machine. My dude Zach is black. And
Yeah.
he's in a band, and I grew up in a time where like that wasn't a favorable thing. That wasn't that often.
Oh, I hear you on that.
I was like, that's dope. And that's the kind of instruments people were playing back in the day. But black dude, you wouldn't catch him bumping something like that. So that was new for me to get to.
Yeah. So when you were listening to Rage Against the Machine, like your own peoples were giving you shit for it, right?
It was like, man, what the dude talking about, bro? He ain't spitting. Like, he didn't grow up in the hood. This nigga's from the suburbs.
All right. Now, because you said that, this is another reason why I hate a lot of the rap artists out there because when gangster rap was the big thing, half these rappers are talking about how they grew up poor, broke, stealing, doing this and doing pretty much dumb nigga shit.
Mm-hmm.
And half of them didn't even grow up in the motherfucking projects. They grew up on the other side of town or in the middle of the town in nice school in this area, or they were in the bad schools, but they were gifted kids, or yeah, they might have ran with the gangs with her, but their parents like, bring your ass in this house.
For real.
See, I grew up in the projects. I was the kid that had to take the back entrance so I wouldn't get picked on all the time. I'm the one I saw from the windows kids getting jumped and this and that. I couldn't go outside unless one of my older cousins came to visit and we went outside together. I've seen people get shot up and this and that. I remember I grew up in the projects where, if you heard shots, the first thing you did was hit the floor because you didn't know where the fuck that shit was coming from. That's why I can't listen to some of this, and it's like, nah, you fake. It's like CB4.
Oh boy.
Now, I'm not gonna sit here and say that.
Cell block 4.
Where you at? I mean,
Boy.
like I'm looking at I'm looking at the playlist for our podcast, and our opening pre-show is instrumental to Power Up by DMX. He grew up in the projects in Yonkers, so he's seen some shit. But there are some of those rappers that came out during that time, like, y'all from the nice side of town, sit down and shut the fuck up.
Drake.
I think it's I got something to do with, like, it's more of the people who don't talk about it as much have actually been through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't hear say Method Man, take him out. You don't hear him say nothing about him doing nothing.
Who?
You don't have none of people from Wu-Tang Clan saying that.
Yeah.
You don't hear none of Ice Cube don't even talk about that stuff no more. Ludacris don't talk about that type of stuff. T.I. don't talk about that type of stuff.
The only thing Ice-T really talks about is like when he was still in the pimp game, and some people still think that he is. Well, that's all up to y'all.
I mean, he and Coco look eccentric.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they pimping anymore. Especially since they got a child now.
Yeah, but it don't stop some people. But I will say this: he's actually touring with a band right now, so that music is getting good.
Oh damn!
I think the group's called Body Count or something like that. I just happened on his Twitter, and somebody say something. I went to go check it. I'm like, I can get with this. This is good, Because I think when you get older and you look back at some of that music that you grew up with, that you liked or didn't like, you might get a better appreciation for it, but you kind of understand it better. You kind of understand better why you really enjoyed it or you did not enjoy it at all,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And sometimes I kind of wish Hammer still had his reality show.
Yep.
Lil B is the best rapper we need.
He really is.
Who?
Lil B.
Yeah.
He's God.
Lil B. I'm pretty sure Usopp is based.
Now, I might become a rapper, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rap about making muffins and getting money.
Don't bake too many muffins now.
I'm gonna make a twerk song called Muffin Top.
Be like
Lil B already did, fam.
Yo, Muffin be like Sage the Gemini, okay?
But I'm gonna do it, bro.
Look, girls, you want some body positivity? I give you. Take all. Put that mama.
Sorry, Maz, the song already beat you to it.
Oh no, for real?
Yeah, Lil B. He made a best tour song ever. I'll post it here. Check this for it.
Yeah, if we're gonna do that shit, Cisco redid the thong song.
Oh shit!
I haven't even heard it, and everyone is saying it is horrible.
Damn, Cisco.
Yeah, check the Lil B song. Twerk it like that.
Twerk Live
Your
life.
hand on your leg. Forgive me. Forgive me.
Yo, later I'm gonna have to tag y'all in this video that I saw. Y'all gotta see this shit because it relates so much to what we've talked about tonight, and this also relates back to stuff we've talked on prior episodes.
I love how you said, what? This is JJ Fish. JJ Ice, whatever the name is back. Why does he want light skinned bitches, but he has white women?
All I heard, all he said was booty meat, and I'm done. He was just talking. I like thick bitches, booty meat. I'm done. I'm done.
Well, that's all I'm
I
gonna say.
love how he
well.
moans. He's like Riley Reid. He moans to his backtrack.
Woo!
This girl is swiveling her hips, and all I hear will be saying,
Martha Stewart.
What is she twerking it like?
Movie is
Sandpaper.
the best troll.
Bruh, sandpaper back. That's what she got. She ain't got no ass. That's a sandpaper back. I think I can make it enough.
His hand.
This girl looks so awkward. What is her hair doing right now?
Her hair twerking more than she is.
That's what's twerking.
I think we're done right about now at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry we didn't go deep on certain topics, but like I said, we wanted to talk about something a little bit different, kind of like what kind of got us to this point. So don't worry, there are the rest of our episodes on YouTube if you want to kind of go back and listen. So
there's plenty of shit posts on our channel.
Actually, I got an idea for next week. I know you want to do it every Monday, but I got an idea.
Okay.
What makes a convention good?
I think we better tear a hole into these Patreon costs.
Oh, look. Before we tear into some Patreon, don't forget, we do have some comments on our YouTube page about our last episode that's up. So we're going to discuss that on the next show. So.
Oh, I gotta hear about this.
Oh, me too.
I'll tell you during after hours. So.
All right.
If you like the show, drop us a line at blackcosplayerspodcast@outlook.com. blackcosplayerspodcast@outlook.com. Tell us what you think. We'll probably talk about you on the show. So, we black, that's what we do. I mean, come on. You've listened to the morning shows, on Hot 97 or the Breakfast Club. Come on now.
Let y'all know right now, I'm gonna talk shit and I'm gonna pull up.
See?
Charlamagne, the bass guy.
Baby says something back to me.
See, our podcast is like the morning show for the rap station. That's how we do.
There it is.
Yep.
So, Sister K, you want to take this one out?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Oh Lord, twerking it like that. All right. So, thanks for watching, listening, whatever y'all do. Because sometimes people watch podcasts, just stare or whatever, however long. To feel, to be in this podcast. That reminds me, we should make a channel art for it. Make it look bright.
Yeah, I mean, our podcast, there is that one image. I think some people probably watch you, think they might see a set of titties, appear for 2 seconds or something like that. Nah, that ain't gonna happen. Nope.
Hello? Wait, walk by, don't listen to me. Listen. I just want to make sure we don't have titties on there. I can be investigated.
No, there are no titties on the episode. I mean, come on.
You trap titties.
Okay.
Trap. It's a trap.
Oh, no. Okay, hold
Oh, Lord. But anyway, remember, guys, every day you wake, every breath you take, if it ain't woke or broke, don't fix it. Leave it alone. Leave it. Boom. I'm done.
Are we done?
I think so. We done?
Yeah.
All right. See y'all next time.